And now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akugha as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, Mamode Akugha. We begin today's package with a trip to Isoko land in Delta State, where the people have drawn government's attention to the crumbling infrastructure in their communities. From Isoko land in Delta State, we move to Ogoni land in River State, where some Ogoni leaders are soliciting the community's support for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project HYPREP to effectively coordinate the ongoing Ogoni cleanup project. Next on the lineup is a report on efforts by the federal government through the instrumentality of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs to upgrade existing social infrastructure in Akwa, Ibom and Cross River states. Moving on, we bring you a story on the return of peace to the ancient Twon brass kingdom of Bayelsa State. And finally, in today's package, we felicitate with all Niger Deltans as they celebrate the inspiring life of Oil Magnate, Engineer Tein Jr., founder and president of Belemaoil Producing Limited, as he marks his 45th birthday. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. Indigenes of Igbide community in Isoko South local government area of Delta State have called on the federal government and its agencies to come to their rescue with the completion of the long-abandoned direct access road project from their community direct to the East-West Road. The road, which was originally to run from Ozoro through Ole, Uzere, Emede, Igbide, Owodokpokpo, and Ume, was supposed to terminate at the East-West Road. It was initially awarded for construction by the defunct Bendel State government of Professor Ambrose Ali in 1981.
Construction work on the access road from Ozoro through Igbide to the East-West Road commenced in 1982, as can be seen from the inscription on this culvert in Igbide. The project was, however, put on hold after the military took over the reins of government in 1983. Since that time, some 38 years ago, the Igbide people say successive governments have promised to complete the road but have not lived up to their promises. Igbide is currently surrounded by three communities, Enwe, Emede and Olomoro, which also provide access roads into Igbide. However, Igbide people say, apart from the Olomoro Road, which is in a state of disrepair, they suffer constant blockade along the Enwe and Emede roads at the slightest sign of communal dispute.
The access road that leads to Igbide, they are blocked. One is blocked at Emede by the Emede people. The other one is blocked by Enwe, who is our neighbor. So we only pass through the small patchment of road that pass through Olomoro to Igbide. That is the only way we are coming to Igbide right now.
The Igbide people, through the Igbide Development Forum, IDF, are now asking the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, come to their aid with the construction of the Igbide end of the road, a stretch of 7 kilometers that terminates at the East-West Road.
A community that has 11 oil wells and a flow station has no access road for them to get out of the place. It's unbelievable.
Known as Akugha Road, named after the initiator of the project, the late Honorable Clement Akugha, a former member of the old Bendel State House of Assembly. The road was part of the demands presented by the Isoko Development Union, IDU, when they met with President Buhari in Aso Rock in 2018.
Another road we mentioned to him that our late Papa Akugha initiated the Mamode, Oterigbide Uzere Road, which he also said the Minister of Works will give attention to. Yes, the Minister of Works visited here 2018 and went to inspect the road. But up till now, nothing has been done.
For 6 decades, oil has been mined in Igbide, yet the people say there is no physical presence of the federal government in Igbide. They say the construction of this road will at least give them a sense of belonging.
From here to Mamode, the road is bad. To Olomo, the same thing. To Enwe, the same thing. So we are just staying without any developments.
My appeal is that either NDDC or the other federal agencies should be committed to complete the access road so that the Odopokpo should be opened up. We are landlocked.
While they are waiting on the government to come to their rescue, the Igbide Development Forum say they will be embarking on a self-help mission to at least reopen the abandoned road.
Government is not listening to us, so nobody is listening to us. So we, the Igbidians, people of Igbide, we want to take our salvation in our hands. We want to self-help, want to engage on self-help to get across to the EastWest Road.
38 years after it was abandoned, the construction of the Akugha Road from Igbide to the EastWest Road will no doubt open up Igbide and surrounding communities to boost socio-economic activities.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Still staying with the Isoko Nation, how to equip Isoko youth to participate effectively in a 21st century digital economy was the focus of a one-day education roundtable organized at Ole, headquarters of Isoko South local government area of Delta State. Participants at the event described it as most timely and apt for the future of Isoko youths, who, like their counterparts in the rest of the Niger Delta, are faced with the challenge of poverty and other forms of deprivation. Correspondent Chika Potosie has details.
Isoko land, comprising 2 local government areas in Delta State, is a reference point in the history of oil and gas production in the Niger Delta. Shortly after crude oil was first discovered in commercial quantity in neighboring Oloibiri community, which is today geopolitically located in Bayelsa State, exploration of the black gold began in Isoko land in 1957. Despite having contributed immensely to Nigeria's economic survival over the years, Isoko communities remain largely neglected and backward. It was to chart a new course for the Isoko ethnic nationality, using education as a tool to safeguard the future of Isoko youths, that concerned Isoko sons and daughters met recently at Ole.
We must establish that there's an organic link between education and overall development and prosperity of any nation. Education is an indispensable means by which children are properly introduced to a complex and multifarious world. In fact, education is a handmaid of civilization. It remains for me to thank the organizers of this event for their vision in this timely intervention for a possible soul-searching and redemption of our educational system.
Participants at the Isoko Education Roundtable emphasized the need to get young Isoko sons and daughters grounded in information communication technology to enable them compete favorably with their peers in a 21st century global economy.
We are talking about education in Isoko in the next 10, 20 years as comparable to education in the developed world like the United States of America and United Kingdom. And that, I will say, first and foremost, will be a very tall order for us. And the way to go is to gradually introduce our students to ICT. That is the tomorrow that we are all looking forward to.
Other speakers suggested practical ways of equipping Isoko youths with the right education to become economically self-reliant in the digital age.
We have found out that the Parent Teachers Association is no longer what it used to be. These are very strong partners that we should have in our education system to be able to interface with the school and the guardian at home. My plea to Isoko Nation, there's need for us to partner together to give the right education to our people.
The essence basically is to ensure that the focus of our interest as Isoko people, irrespective of political leanings, is brought to the fore. This roundtable is one of the initiatives of the Isoko Investment Economic Council to see that we can bring to fore our challenges irrespective of the communities as long as you are Isoko.
The just concluded Isoko Education Roundtable was organized by the Isoko Economic and Investment Council in collaboration with Isoko North and South Local Councils, the Isoko Development Union, and the National Union of Isoko Students.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Leaders of the Ogoni ethnic nationality in Rivers State have passed a vote of confidence in the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project HYPREP, the federal government's agency implementing the Ogoni Cleanup project. The leaders who spoke to Inside the Niger Delta recently in Port Harcourt also called on their kith and kin to support HYPREP to succeed in its mandate to remediate polluted sites and restore livelihoods in Ogoni land. Correspondent Lovely Ofigo has more.
A major challenge encountered by HYPREP at the commencement of the Ogoni cleanup exercise in 2017 was a misconception about its mandate in Ogoni land. This gave rise to the establishment of the Central Representative Advisory Committee, comprising opinion leaders in the various communities to enlighten and sensitize the people on the need to embrace the Ogoni cleanup project.
The HYPREP may have one or two problems from with the community because, of course, it's a normal government process, especially when it has to do with a community that has gone through a lot of process, that has gone through a lot of bastardization by the both ecology and everything. So the people is going to be a bit careful. As a matter of fact, from 2019 to now, that conflict is reducing, and then the people are now trying to see that, oh, these people are real.
We held town hall meetings in almost all the NGAs, LGAs in Ogoni, and we used that forum to sensitize the people of the workings of HYPREP. HYPREP was not created to share money to the people or to be paying compensation to the people. They are here to remediate the land that have been degraded over the years. It's to their own benefit.
Having closely monitored the Ogoni cleanup exercise from the commencement of the project coordination in 2017 till date, the Ogoni leaders are convinced that HYPREP is on course in its efforts to remediate several polluted sites in Ogoni land.
The federal government was so interested in the petrodollars that oil drilling was bringing, not caring about the human life that live in that area. But we brought this to the front burner, and that's why you are seeing what we are talking about today as HYPREP. So my committee, my organization is ready to partner with HYPREP to make sure that what we struggled for over the years is realized.
And what they are doing is the right thing. They've gone to the incited areas, and they are doing the job in line with what the United Nations wants. And that is what is important to us.
After embarking on a public sensitization campaign as soon as its project coordination commenced in 2017, HYPREP had trained several Ogoni youths to participate in the cleanup exercise that commenced in earnest in January 2019. HYPREP says it is now set to kickstart the livelihood component of its intervention in Ogoni land.
What is the critical thing we want to do in 2020? One, we are commencing the livelihood training, further livelihood training. In alliance with the United Nations, UNEP, we are commencing in a few weeks from now training of the first batch of 1,200 women, starting with 400. This will be done at the Songhai farms, and it is another milestone in the history of the project. What's the next thing? We are also going to be contracting, awarding for our water, which has been a critical part of this. We are at the concluding phases for that, so we'll have the companies in the communities actually providing water.
So far, HYPREP has created jobs for over 1,000 Ogoni youths currently engaged in the cleanup project. It plans to empower many others with lifelong skills to cater for themselves and their families.
The overall effect of our activities, massive improvement of the economy in the local population in Ogoni land, massive education of those who are with us in terms of the technical skill. We build capacity, and we have also impacted on the economy of the area.
HYPREP says it is poised to deliver a world-class environmental remediation project in Ogoni land, which will serve as a template for the rest of the Niger Delta that has equally faced untold ecological damage from crude oil extraction over the years.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, recently monitored key projects awarded by his ministry in Akwa, Ibom and Cross River states, demanding that they be completed immediately and put into use to benefit the local populace. The trip to the neighboring states of Akwa Ibom and Cross River, which was part of an ongoing project's monitoring and evaluation exercise embarked upon by his ministry, also gave Senator Akpabio an opportunity to interact with the communities. Correspondent Tekena Miofori tells us more.
Senator Godswill Akpabio, as part of his recent walking visit to Cross River State, was at the Bakassi Housing Estate to assess the current status of the project. Having discovered that the housing project had reached its completion stage, the minister, at a meeting with Governor Ben Ayade, directed officials of the Niger Delta Ministry to allocate the housing units to internally displaced persons without delay.
So we are looking at some of the candidates from Bakassi, and we are also looking at some of the very less privileged people that work in the power. And we also have something for the catchment area. For instance, the village shepherd there. We would like to have some semblance of authority buildings in the totally fenced ground, and that has been completed by the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs.
Our laws provides in such a way that states that have so much money coming out of oil are the ones also that benefit so much from NDDC. It is a investure that the Minister for Niger Delta has a responsibility of calibrating the growth process of the Niger Delta. And so for those who get so much from oil, it is the responsibility of the Minister of Niger Delta to see that those who earn very little now benefit so much from the main ministry so that they can grow along the same level. What he needs now is the glory when he gets to heaven.
While in Cross River State, Senator Akpabio also inspected facilities in a skills acquisition center at Nkot Nakanda. The minister, who was impressed with the quality of facilities on ground, called for an upgrade of the institution to the status of a mini polytechnic.
We are not just building a skill acquisition center. We are building a center that is capable of giving out certificates.
Yes, like diplomats.
And diplomats.
Yes.
It's almost like a mini polytechnic.
Yes, sir.
When you are building a mini institution for specialized training and you call it skill acquisition center, I think the name is deceptive.
In demonstrating the federal government's commitment to the sustainable development of the Niger Delta, Senator Akpabio had, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, commissioned the Ibiaku Utit Uruan Erosion Project in Akwa Ibom State. The project, worth over 1 billion naira, was executed by the Ecological Fund Office and is expected to relieve benefiting communities from persistent flooding and gully erosion. Akpabio said the intervention was a reflection of President Buhari's desire to implement life-transforming projects in the Niger Delta and other parts of the country.
I recognize the effort of our dear President Muhammadu Buhari, for approving this ecological project in this community. For the first time in the history of our dear country, we have a very humble and a very simple president who is pro-poor, who is interested in the poor people. I say, may God bless the president.
Akpabio's recent tour of project sites across various locations in Akwa Ibom and Cross River states was undertaken to assess the performance of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, which has a mandate to coordinate all development efforts in the region and promote its rapid transformation.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Queen of Twon Brass Kingdom, Dr. Mrs. Josephine Diette Spiff, and the good people of Twon Brass recently held a one-day Thanksgiving service in the ancient kingdom. The Thanksgiving service was in celebration of peaceful coexistence after years of hostilities and strife in the kingdom, as correspondent Lovely Ofigo reports.
Soon after it embraced Christianity and Western education several centuries back, Twon Brass had witnessed peace and stability, which ushered in an era of prosperity. In recent times, however, the once peaceful kingdom came under siege of violence perpetrated by some unscrupulous elements in the communities. Worried about the kingdom's declining fortunes, Their Majesties King Alfred and Queen Dr. Josephine Diette Spiff decided to dedicate it to God. It was in gratitude to God for the return of peace to the kingdom that a Thanksgiving service was recently organized by their Royal Majesties.
A year after we did dedication unto God on this land, asking for peace. At that time there was serious death, killings, kidnapping, fighting in this place. But after the dedication, peace came, and since then, 1 year later, they have been peace. We have had 2 elections and there have been no bloodshed.
We've been receiving blessings the whole year, and we've dedicated the 1st of December for every year to say thank God for his blessings for Twon Brass Kingdom. And so it is decreed, and so it will be.
The Thanksgiving service was attended by many, including top politicians and religious leaders in the Niger Delta.
In the 6th century, the Christianity came here. We must thank God for Brass Kingdom. We must thank God for the king. Thank God for the queen. For all the highness who are here, thank God. They are ruling you in the fear of God. And that is most important.
We can't thank God enough for all that he has done for us as a people, as a community as well. And I think he deserves all the thanksgiving. We are so grateful to him for life, for progress, and for everything that we can think of.
Organizers of the Thanksgiving service, the first of its kind in Twon Brass, have decided to make it an annual tradition to sustain the reign of peace and prosperity in the kingdom.
Inside the Niger Delta.
And before we go, it's celebration galore in the Niger Delta and beyond as family, friends and well-wishers celebrate the founder and president of Belemaoil Producing Limited, Engineer Tein Jr., on the occasion of his 45th birthday. The life of Engineer Tein Jr., who is unarguably one of the highest employers of labor in the country with an unparalleled profile in philanthropy, is indeed the story of a quantum leap from grass to grace. Inside the Niger Delta joins in the celebration of a man whose determination to succeed against all odds has continued to inspire youths in the Niger Delta and their counterparts across the country.
Born into poverty, lost both parents by the age of 10, and soon after his younger brother. With only faith and perseverance guiding his path. That path, paved with hardships and challenges, would take a young boy of a village and forge him into the leader of a nation.
Village life was very tough. You didn't have water, no electricity. As a young lad, I was very close to my late mother, and I had working lifestyle, and I believe that hard work will create the required dividend. I always reflect on the past life, my late parents and how things were, and the strong desire to support families that may be going through a similar situation today. Some see me as someone who will love to help.
One time there was love.
That boy would go on to build the first indigenous oil exploration and production company in Nigeria.
Certain as the sun.
With a vision to change his community for the better.
One time there was love.
Today, we have helped thousands of local communities. The first project that we did in the community was to provide water. In the past 700 years of the existence of that community, they had no water to drink. They said, why is it doing this? But I never quit.
we invite you on a first-hand journey to experience the life, the story, and the vision of T.N. Jack Rich.
One time there was love.
I envision a world that doesn't exist.
Certain as the sun.
To make it, a reality.
Well, we wish Engineer Jack Rich Tein Jr. many, many more happy returns of continued service to the Niger Delta region. Well, that's how much we can take on the program. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screen. Until next week, I am Mamode Akugha saying thank you so much for watching and bye for now.